Hey guys, thank you for stopping by and joining us as we start our second episode of Don't Ever Take Away My Freedom. So just a little recap on our last video. We was talking about Ancient Mama and why that product was taken off the shelf. Well, I looked it up on the web. Her name was actually Nancy Green. She was a storyteller and a cook according to the web. After years of criticism, the Ancient Mama label is a caricature of black women and promoted racist stereotypes, namely the mammy character, PepsiCo has finally took action and took it down, and that's why. So I'm proud of that, so I don't feel bad now if I don't see that character on the box. So let's get right into our video today. So you guys know this is Andre. He wrote this book called Don't Ever Take Away My Freedom. So there's a few topics in here, and one of them, oh sorry guys, I should have had it book ready. I did.
What you looking for?
I'm looking for, okay,
contents.
Yeah, the contents. And he loves to, yeah. Let's go on. So it says, we the people, that's one of the topics we'll talk about. But one that stuck out to me was legislative authority, immigration, and limits to government. Now, what I was saying to him earlier is that I am not political, but I was looking at this book and I said, this book is actually a political book. And I said, I would not pick this book up. That is the truth. Why? Because I'm not into politics. And we talk about politics. Well, he talks about politics because he has a passion for it. And so long story short, it started not a heated discussion, but one to say, I wouldn't pick this book up. And he was explaining why we should know more about the Constitution. And I said, I don't know the Constitution, and because I wasn't raised where they talked about the Constitution, or we wasn't taught about the Constitution. We were taught different things that we should do this and that, what we ought to do, law.
And it's unfortunate. And the reason is because this is actually the document that keeps us free. And if we don't know it and understand it, we're not going to be able to defend our freedoms the way we are. And people are constantly, it amazes me how people will argue about constitutional principles, and just by the discussion, I know they haven't even read the document.
See how it gets? It's like,
come on.
But why would we read it if we wasn't, first of all, taught it? And then, and if we were taught it, it was taught to make you want to learn more about your freedoms. The Constitution, when it comes to black and whites, even though it was written for all, at first it wasn't. That was a desegregation. It was a desegregation.
It wasn't applied. No, there was slavery, and there was, and there was, I guess, Native Americans. I mean, it wasn't applied to everybody. It was supposed to be.
It was only applied to people that looked like this. Well, I look like this, so I don't want to read your bull crap.
Yes. However, it is still, if you read it without any sense of color, any sense of everything else like this, it's an absolutely marvelous document. And it is what is the center of the freedom that we talked about in the first edition of this.
That's why we need you to help us understand the Constitution, because you have a passion for it. You love the Constitution, and his writing is beautiful too. It doesn't even seem like it's constitutional, except the parts where he adds the Constitution in there so that we can understand it from his point of view. So can we start right here where you wrote the introduction? Yes.
Okay, let me just read this then. You know, we can lose our freedom by our own stupidity, or we can lose our freedom by allowing others to take it from us. We are at risk from the enemies within and the enemies without. Freedom is won with courage. It is lost in fear. Freedom is built in self-sufficiency. It is destroyed by dependency. Freedom is preserved in knowledge. It is abdicated in ignorance. Freedom is nurtured with diligence. It is wasted in apathy. Freedom is shared with humility. It is withheld by pride. Freedom is blessed in generosity. It is stolen by greed. Freedom is kept with honor. It is demeaned by immorality. Freedom is offered in love. It is taken in hate. Freedom is loved by servants. It is hated by tyrants. Freedom is revealed in honesty. It is repressed by lies. Freedom is birthed in purity. It is murdered by corruption. Freedom is known in truth, and the truth will set you free. And that's from the New Testament, book of John, chapter 8.
Right. So this part that you read, the whole part, where's that from? The freedom.
That's my writing.
That is a beautiful description. Like, it's almost like a proverb. Like, if we learn what the proverbs mean, the good side and the bad side, we get to choose which do we want to honor. And I really think that was beautiful. So that's the part that just got me in the very beginning to understand what my freedom is. So now that I'm beginning to have an understanding, I can more so now say I can read the Constitution, because you helped me to understand the Constitution. And it takes people like Andre to help people like myself. And that's when I say myself, it's people who just say, no, I don't have time. I don't want to read that. What does it have to do with me? It wasn't written for me. It truly wasn't. In the beginning, it wasn't written for me. But now that we have evolved to black and white, whatever color we are, under the same sun, we should try now, because a lot of things chains are being broken. We should now explore more about our freedoms.
And a lot of our people, even in government, are trying to ignore our freedom, ignore the principles of the Constitution. And we are in danger today. We really are, because of ignorance. And it's a shame that our schools, what's up with the schools wanting to teach gender identity, but you won't find the Constitution in the schools? What's up with that?
Can we talk about gender identities stolen right now, real quick? So I'm just going to say this real quick because I want Andre to take over here. So we have little kids that we work with, and I just listened to a conversation. One kid, these are two boys, one kid said, if he rolled the dice and it's whatever number, he say, then I like boys. And then the other one, he seemed really excited to have this type of conversation. And I'm sitting over there just like, wow, children are being exposed to something that they shouldn't be exposed to. And now they think they have a choice to see if they want to be a girl with a girl or a boy. That saddens me, and that is taking away their freedom.
Yeah, it does when you have anything that starts to impose a viewpoint on children without helping them understand the whole context, does endanger freedom. So it's not just that, it's so many things today. And it can be, there's so many things, whether it's the drugs, whether it's the sex, whether it's gender identity, whether it's, there's so many things right now that just create confusion in children's mind rather than education in their minds. And for people to impose certain things of a moral nature, the school systems should be generally neutral. And
that's one thing I think they should just leave alone, because they have nothing to do with it being right or wrong. They should just leave it alone so that kids can grow up with their families learning the difference between how a marriage should be and what's outside of a marriage. I think that should be left up to the families, not to the school to impose it on little children.
If it's inappropriate if it's inappropriate for the school systems to be teaching religion, then it's definitely inappropriate to be teaching sexual identity.
Exactly, because they took it out long ago.
Let's be at least fair about it. Let's at least be objective about it. And that's what's not happening today. The political bent to take away freedoms and in the name of power and money and whatever.
And I don't even know what they're trying to
is
gain out of it. So
well, again, it's some of it is just it's rebellion, and it's wanting to sort of stick it into tradition's face.
right, okay,
And that's very dangerous, because tradition is there for a reason. It may not always be right, and it needs to be modified, but in a context of civil discussion
and not imposing.
Yeah, no imposition.
Right. So with that being said, guys, our time is up. Do you have a thought you want us to go away with?
My passion on this is that we respect each other so much that we're able to have a dialogue and a discussion, and without all of the political nonsense that we're seeing today.
And leave parents to raising their children in the structure that God intended for them, and the school do what the school is to do, and that's to teach all the other things that they're supposed to be teaching.
Reading, writing, and arithmetic. It used to be the 3 R's. That was pretty much what you stuck to in the schools. That's what I grew up with. And if you know the practical things, and some of the practical things aren't taught, like how to do a checkbook, how the
natural
economy
things
works.
that we use.
I mean, that should be a key course, is just how money works.
Okay, so we went over.
Yeah,
this conversation can go on, and that's why we're going to be doing episodes of it. So thank you for joining us. If you have a comment, please leave it down below. If you have a question as well, leave it down below. We look forward to seeing you, or calling your name, or answering your question on our next video. And you'll see me in my next video. You'll see us in the next video. And I will be dropping a video I should have already dropped, and that's making reindeer pancake for my grandson. Just a heads up, spoiler alert, I forgot the eyes. Anyway, thank you for watching.